So there's been a lot of stuff going on regarding the U.S. southern border over the past handful of weeks. Now, the reason why I want to bring this up today is because we are now starting to see more and more reports that the Biden administration is going to do something that we haven't seen him do in quite a while. This is actually something that he's going to do that former President Donald Trump did, and many lawmakers are questioning his intentions at this time. So I'm going to break down what's going on there. It's going to impact every single one of us, so you make sure you watch this entire video. But all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So would President Biden really consider something that former President Donald Trump did? Well, the answer is yes. Because according to reports, Biden is considering new executive action to restrict asylum at the border, according to multiple sources. One of the things that we've been hearing over the past few weeks is that more voters are now putting the U.S. southern border crisis at the top of their list, saying that this is their priority. This is the most important thing to them, is the U.S. southern border and the amount of immigrants that are coming into the U.S. But why? Why would we be so concerned with people coming into the United States? Well, for one reason. They're now starting to take over. You go to some cities like Denver, Chicago, New York, and people in those cities are getting less because there's more immigrants coming in. Just to give you an idea, I was reading this article today that says there's 1 in 4 New York City children live in poverty, yet immigrants coming in are getting free credit cards. They're getting credit cards with money on them that they can go spend for food or for baby products. Right? They're getting free shelter. They're getting actual food. This is turning into an issue because the people that have been living in the United States are asking, well, what about us? Why did we never get anything before? It's turning into an issue. Well, I want to show you this as well, because the Biden administration has been saying that even though there's thousands of people coming into the United States, we are also deporting thousands of people as well. I want to show you this. This is from Fox News. I thought this was very interesting. It says only 288 Chinese citizens were deported from the U.S. in fiscal year 2023, despite 24,000 encounters at the border as influx continues. Think about that for a second, where the Biden administration is saying that no, even though we're seeing thousands of people enter into the United States, we're also deporting just as many. It's actually not true. And not just based off this article from Fox News, because I know they're very one-sided, but this is what we have been seeing for quite a while, is that there's not a lot of deportation. Some, but not a lot. And this is where this new executive action from the Biden administration, this could actually benefit us here in the United States. But the concern is that many lawmakers don't want to see this happen. Because right now, as President Biden is weighing this executive action, it is drawing fire from the left and the right. It says a border bill failed to get support earlier this month in the Senate while drawing opposition from the House. But guess what? This executive action, this is going to, based off reports, likely be held up. And the reason this is going to be held up is for a few different reasons. Number one, it's an election year. President Biden, based off of what we've been hearing, is being pressured into taking executive action from Republicans. But Democrats say that he should be very patient on this. He shouldn't do it because they say no one party should go and change what has already been done. No one party should make this move, especially this close to an election. This could be political suicide for Democrats if President Biden does this. But at the same time, if he doesn't, and this is why Republicans have really backed him up against a wall, is if they don't do this, guess what? We're going to continue to see more and more illegal immigration. And as we do, voters are going to be upset. Will they vote for Democrats at that time? I don't know. The other one, here's something that I want to be very clear on. If President Biden does consider this executive action. Number one, it's going to limit asylum seekers, which means if you enter into the United States and you're seeking asylum, you enter between legal ports of entry, you would be barred from asylum at that time. Now, we do not know for how long that would be, if it would be for 1 year, if it would be for 5 years, 10 years, we don't know. But all we know is that is what one of the options is. The other option, okay, and I want to be very clear on this, is if the Biden administration decides to take executive action, it would just change policies. It would not add funding. So here's why many Democrats say this is not something that we should do, because if we do this, then the chances of Congress passing another bill, any legislation for the U.S. southern border, would be out of the question. But one of the big asks in the border protection bill was about $20 billion in funding. This would provide additional detention centers. This would also give us the opportunity to hire additional border agents. We could build more of the Trump border wall, right? That was in there as well. There's hiring additional judges so that we can process asylum seekers quicker. That's in there as well. So there's a lot of different things. There's also some money in there for welcome centers in the United States. There's a lot of stuff that was included, but it was part of that $20 billion. Okay? So the hard part right now is, which direction do we go? Well, I want to show you a couple things really quick. Okay? I want to read this to you. I want to read you this one right here. It says, congressional Republicans chose to put partisan politics ahead of our national security, rejected what border agents have said they need, and then gave themselves a 2-week vacation. Okay. It says no executive action, no matter how aggressive, can deliver the significant policy reforms and additional resources Congress can provide and that Republicans rejected. We continue to call on Speaker Johnson and House Republicans to pass the bipartisan deal to secure the border. Now, this obviously it's from a Democrat, but here's the thing. Right now, there's a bill that Democrats pretty much put together and asking the House of Representatives to pass. Okay, that's what this little statement was from. But don't forget that Republicans also passed a bill. I believe it's H.R. 2. They passed that bill earlier on. So it's been months since they passed that bill. That bill passed through the House of Representatives and sitting on Chuck Schumer's desk in the Senate. So both parties have passed a bill that is more geared towards them, and they're asking the other chamber to pass it, but they're not doing so. This is one of the reasons why President Biden believes the only option moving forward is executive action. And honestly, it probably is. I don't see any other way that we're going to see the House of Representatives and the Senate work together to pass a bill. Not at this time, not of that much importance. So, what does this mean moving forward? Well, here's what this means. We are going to see President Biden delay this. I don't know for how long. The expectation was it was going to be a couple months. So, it might be March or even April before we see any executive action on the U.S. southern border. But here's what I'm anticipating, okay? Normally, well, historically, we see immigration tick up. We see a surge in immigration right about March and April. If this happens in March, then my expectation is in April, President Biden will most likely take executive action because he would be pressing Congress to do something in March. And if they don't, then his next option, his only option at that point, would be to take executive action. So, I'm anticipating that we're going to see something happen in March or April of this year. So, just be ready for that. I don't know what it will look like. I don't know how intense this will be, but all I can tell you is something has to be done before things get worse here in the United States. So, that's where we're at this time. As always, as I hear more, as I learn more, I promise I'll come back and share all the latest news and updates. But that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.